Taiwan actually faces a lot of different type of threats. Taiwan experienced the worst drought in 56 years from May to June this year. However, after the droughts, the floods happened at southern Taiwan, which implied the extreme rainfall is now the top climate crisis. Fewer but stronger typhoon may occur in Taiwan, which is like the greatest threat will happen in the future. Taiwan's average annual temperature increased by 1.6 degrees Celsius over the past 110 years, which is above the global average of 1.07 degrees. In the worst-case scenario, Taiwan may lose its winter by as early as 2060.
Is Taiwan doing enough to cut its carbon emissions?
Well, the short answer is no, and I'll explain why we don't think it's enough. So we do have President Tsai mentioning, like in the statement, that we want to align our goal to net zero 2050. But the statement is not actually enough because it will have to be encoded in the law for it to be enforced. So if it's not in an act, it may just be a statement and people can like do nothing about it. But the problem is that the net zero 2050, the path to this goal is not yet written in Taiwan's legislation. We need to do more than what we're doing now.
I suppose that's my question is, what can people do? And that's both as individuals and also as members of a society to kind of put pressure on their governments or on larger organizations to act.
I would say people's consuming habit may work indirectly, because if people try their best to only buy eco-friendly and low-carbon products, the changed behaviors may support the voice asking governments to limit emission.
I think people who think like individuals cannot like compete their level of influence with corporation, this statement is absolutely correct, because of course they are conglomerates, they are huge companies, they take up more percentage of carbon emissions. But when we try to persuade people to cut emissions on an individual level, the action has meanings in two folds. So the first is, of course, they are cutting emissions, but the second one is actually more important, which is to show their stance on the issue. Because when people are choosing to buy some low emission products, or when they are choosing to vote for the politicians who support like a more sustainable like policies, we're actually making statements and we're telling them that we care about it. Not only on those levels, but also to show your friends and family to join the movement on pushing for like a more holistic policies and actions. So of course, like in short, individual levels, of course it's not going to change the climate. It's such a huge thing. But individual attentions to the issue and dedication to the issue do push the higher levels of actions to come together.